Morning, everyone. This is Pastor Bonnie, and we are going to be working on a painting that's got a whole bunch of different elements in it. It's a mixed media. So we have ink that we used, and I used just a regular cold press paper. And so what I did first is I just went ahead and wet it down with water. And then we're going to be using the ink, alcohol ink, to just get some spatters of color on it. And like I said, this one has acrylic paint, it has watercolor paint, all different kinds of stuff. So and rather than record it, I went ahead and took pictures of it. It just makes it a little bit easier to go back and just explain everything that I'm doing with it. And I hope that you find this relaxing. And here we're using gouache paint. That's actually watercolor paint that's really thick and much more saturated. So I just added a little more of the gouache and sprinkled it in the water and spread it around. But this one I just thought was so much fun. That's why I wanted to share it with you. And you can see we're using blue and purple, and then we're going to use a little bit of green. And then, and you can just see how it spreads in the water. And this paint, if you turn the picture sideways, it caused it to run, and that's what I wanted, just to kind of make some drips on it. I did have to let it dry in between each application, and here we just did some spatters, and then I went back and I did use stencils. I forgot to tell you. And so with the stencils, I did ink pens, I did acrylic paints, and then it's just really pretty. Of course, you have to wait for the painting to dry, and then you can use the stencils. So they just add a really pretty element, and it's going to be underneath the main object of the paint, which is the butterflies, which we're going to do a little bit later. But see how pretty that is, you guys? So it's got all these different elements, and there's really no pattern to it. You can just do like you want to do it. And then I did some metallic gold acrylic paint, and oh, you guys, it added such a pretty element to it. See, you can see the gold in the picture. Sorry. And I just wanted a touch of it, and when you get the light on it, it's just really, really pretty. And then these are the rest of the stencils that I'm going to be using. And this one I decided to try an white ink pen. It's a gel pen that's specially designed to do art with. And then, so you can see, it's just getting really pretty with all the white elements underneath it. And I thought about even just leaving it with those, but then I thought, no, we're just going to add a little more. So I wanted to put a pretty little fairy, and then I decided to try using the acrylic paint that's metallic, and it's really pretty and shiny. So we started with the white metallic watercolor paint, and to be honest, I honestly didn't quite like that, so I ended up going back a little bit later and putting some metallic acrylic paint, because it was a little bit heavier, over the fairy, and you'll see that a little bit later. Here I drew the butterfly, and I started with the metallic watercolor paint. The butterflies have lots and lots of layers in them, and so you can see when they started, they were pretty much see-through with the watercolor paint. So then I went back and I used the metallic acrylic paint. And you can see it's a lot thicker, but see how shiny and pretty it is? So we did 2 butterflies, and they still weren't quite what I was looking for. So I went back with the gouache paint set and added some more elements, and these are the different colors that I used. And that's the fun part about it. You just keep working on it until you get it exactly the way you want it. Yours is going to look different than mine, and that's awesome. I always tell people that's half the fun. And if I were to do this again, it would look totally different. So I just kept going back and forth between the acrylic and the watercolor metallic, and I did add some white little dots around the wing edges. It's starting to look a little bit prettier. So since the butterflies were the main part of the painting, I really wanted to have them stand out. So you can see it's starting to take shape. I did go back on the wings, and you'll see it a little bit later, but I did outline the wings with black. I think I used the watercolor paint. We'll see here in just a minute. There it is. So yeah. So I did use the black watercolor paint just to kind of create a shadow around the edges of it. But they're starting to look three-dimensional. And like I said, this painting really took a lot of patience. It took me 2 days to work on it because I had to keep letting it dry in between the applications. But it's just so pretty when you get it done. That's why I said you use so many different elements in it. It just really makes it really unusual and pretty. And then I added acrylic paint for the body, the little butterfly body. See how pretty that is, you guys? And the little white spots really shined on it. And see, the black made a big difference. Actually, I think I did acrylic paint for the outline. And I really softened it. Then I drew some little stars on it. I did some spatters and made some little stars on it just to make it kind of pretty, kind of magical. And then on the fairy, I did go back. I didn't like it because it was so white. So I went back and outlined it with an ink pen. And then I went back with a colored pencil. And I just made a shadow around the edge of the fairy to make her look a little more three-dimensional. But it came out really pretty, you guys. I love how it came out. I've really enjoyed spending this time with you. I hope it's been relaxing for you. And I did put this one on the cover of a journal. I love to do that. It's a blank journal. So I'll put that in the description so you can check it out. But I hope you have a wonderful day and God bless.